Yes, my friends, welcome back to Kayjo Farms. Right now we are grazing goats. This is one of the forests that we graze from. This is where we graze from, and the extreme end that side, that's where we graze from. So as you can see in our background, our goats are grazing, and we have identified one goat. Here it's not eating well. It's kind of weak. So these are the times you experience and see the goats that are not doing well for you. So that one we have seen is not eating well. It's kind of weak. It has been diuretic since yesterday. Right now we have given it some medicine, and the diureting has stopped. So it has started now eating, but it's still weak. So we are going to work on it. So the purpose of my video today is I'm going to talk about deworming. Yeah, deworming of goats. Now, as you can see in my background, my goats are browsing, are grazing. You understand? Goats like to browse. When I talk about browse, is they like eating from a high point. You understand? They don't like eating from the ground. But since us in our area we don't have shrubs where they can eat from up, which is called browsing, they have to eat from down. And when they eat from down, which is grazing, it means they are getting worms. You understand? They are getting worms because worms like the ground, worms like the grass. That's why I always tell people in your exercising area, clear everything in your exercising area. Just leave it bare, because you'll be avoiding these worms. Because if you leave grass in the exercising area, when there is dew in the morning and the goats start eating it and they pass by, they poo there and everything, then you're spreading worms. So right now they are eating from the ground. So it means they have access to many worms. Now, we had a situation recently whereby our goat passed on. The one I was talking about in my previous video. Our goat passed on. So when it passed on, after vaccination, it was kind of sick. I decided to do postmortem. I called the vet to do postmortem to find out why this goat died. And when they did postmortem, they found that this goat had liver flukes. So these liver flukes, they are types of worms. They found them in the body, and they are the ones that kill the goats. Now, for my farm, I was following the default one where they say you're supposed to deworm after 3 months. That's what everyone says, and that's what the theory says. But it depends on the farms. This deworming depends on the farms. So mine, I decided I'll be deworming after 2 months. You understand? I'm going to be deworming after 2 months. I was deworming after 3 months. Now I'm going to deworm 2 months after 2 months. Because in my area, for example here, you can see it's kind of swampy. Yeah, even that side is kind of swampy. So ours, we have a lot of liver flukes. The water they take, the grass they eat, since they do the browsing, it means they are finding liver flukes on the ground in this swamp and so forth. So my area is swampy. So you find that other areas are not swampy. Some people, you find that they have to deworm after 3 months or after 4 months. So it depends on your farm. You understand? These things of saying it's the default one, no, you have to first find out how worms affect your goats on your farm or in your area. So if your area is full of shrubs, what I mean by shrubs, those ones that have trees where goats can browse from, that one you can even do your deworming after 3 months. But if you are in an area where there is no shrubs and goats have to depend on the ground to get their grass or feeds, it means you have to deworm even after 2 months. Because I remember telling you there is a story of a person I know whose goats were dying every time, and they had whose goats were dying every time. So when they did the research and the vet came, he changed vets and so forth until he got one vet and told him that you have a lot of worms on your farm. So this person deworms twice in a month. Yeah, he deworms twice in a month. So because of the worms, and when he started doing that, his goats stopped dying. So I can say it depends on your goat farm and your area. So we did deworming. Yes, we did deworming I think 1 week ago. We used an injectable dewormer called Ivermectin Plus. Yeah, Some people use I+. The one that Hamis always talks about is around like 250,000 Ugandan shillings to 300,000 Ugandan shillings. This one we are using, Ivermectin Plus, is way cheaper than it. It's what we are using. When our goats multiply, we shall also improve and start using I+. So, like I said, we did it 1 week ago. We used an injectable dewormer, Ivermectin Plus. It was supposed to be injected under the skin. It's not in the muscles, under the skin. So we advised and were told we're supposed to deworm then after. We are supposed to deworm after every 2 months. So not 3 months for me. After 2 months. So we shall be interchanging. The next time we are going to be using the oral one, which is Liver Fast Diamond. Some of you know it. So we have to be deworming. So you have to deworm your goats, because when you don't deworm your goats, you will see your goats dying. You will inject them with oxy, you inject them with multivitamins, but they are not working. So that's what happened to us. We injected it with oxy, multivitamins and so forth, but it died. And when we did postmortem, we found that there were liver flukes. So, and also remember, you also have to inject, you have to also deworm your kids. Yeah, since in our area now we know that there are many worms, we have to inject our kids after 2 weeks. So after it's born like this, the kid, after 2 weeks, I'm sure it would have started eating some things on the ground, some grasses, licking everywhere, being with the moms when they come from grazing. So it means you also have to start deworming. So you do soft deworming, 1 meal, I think, for those the young ones, for every 2 weeks until they are 3 months. But you remember, you have to increase the dewormer according to the size of the goat or the weight of the goat. So after every 3 months, when they are born, you start also increasing on the length of the month of the time of deworming. So it means if you deworm, if you have been deworming for 2 weeks, for 3 months, then after 3 months you can increase it to 1 month. After 1 month, then after 1 month you can increase it to 2 months or 3 months, depending on the worm infestation in your area. So yeah, so our goats, as you can see in the background, they are grazing right now. This time we are taking them back because this is the morning schedule. The morning schedule, it already starts like at 9 to like 11 or 12. You have to make sure that your goats eat twice, in the morning and the evening. Most of you just give your goats once. You find that someone just gives it from 2 a.m. to 6 p.m. and he takes them back. Then he makes them fast up to again 2 p.m. the next day. No, they're supposed to eat twice a day, because you want your goats to be healthy and you don't want them to cause miscarriages because of hunger. So make sure when you're moving your goats out every day in the morning, you have to make sure the sun is out and it has dried some grass. That's why we do not take them out early, like at 8 or 7. No, we wait like at 9 when the sun has come out, it has dried the grass and the worms are less. So if you do early mornings, you find the dew worms are many, and also it will bring things like foot rot because of the wet places. So make sure in the morning you first let the sun come out and take them to graze, then take them back to feed the kids or rest as they chew their cud. Then after like at 3, you bring them back, they eat, then take them back, and your goats will look nice. So like I can see the goat, I'm seeing the goat I was telling you that is not feeling well. It has been diureting, it's there chilling. We soon have to also go and inject it again with oxy and some multivitamins. So let us continue grazing. Please deworm your goats, because if you don't deworm your goats, your goats will die. They will die. You will bring vets, they inject them with things, but if they don't deworm them, then you will lose your goats. So remember, signs of that your goats have worms can be rough hair coat, because rough hair coat, when you get your goat and you're rubbing your hand on top, you find that even some hairs are falling down. Some have a bottle jaw, they call it bottle jaw, where the goat swells under here, and sometimes it gets a big head. You understand? So those are signs that your goats are having worms. sometimes we are not ruling out that there are some goats that are hairy by nature, or the breed is hairy, but most of the times, if you know that you haven't dewormed and they are hairy and they are scratching themselves, it's either fleas or the worms. It's either fleas or the worms. So you have to make sure you deworm your goats. So right now, for me, I'm a beginner. I'm soon to be intermediate and leave the beginner stage, but I want to be sharing all the challenges that I've gotten on my goat farm, so that I can help someone out there. You understand? Can help someone out there. And also for you, if you have the knowledge, you can also share. Please share the knowledge so that we get this information, which will help us to take care of our goats. So right now we are going to take them back to rest so that they can chew their cud and feed their kids, and we also rest. Then we shall come back like at 3 p.m. for them to have their evening lunch. All right, so thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share. Let's go back to our grazing.